He knocks it down, a long two. And finally, Penn State on the board here in the second half.
They're going to need more of that if they're going to get back in this game. The big fella may make his German Olympic team. He's looking forward to playing in Athens. I think he's down to the final 14 cut. So if he can do that, that'll help the Penn State program when he comes back. What a great experience.
7 points now for Jagla. First time, again, in case you joined us late, that he did not start. There is Young. Boy, we said, Bucky.
A half gainer and a layup. Wow. That was an Olympic dive right there.
Not a great first half for him. Jagla, what a pick. Seacat is down. He may not get up for a while. He is down on the floor. And the officials, because the ball is away from him, allowing play to continue. And now the officials will call a timeout. I mean, Seacat had no idea that Jan Jagla was there.
And that's the fault of Vedran Vakusic. He didn't talk on defense. If he did, he surely didn't get through to Seacat. I mean, he had a full eclipse. Wow. That's the responsibility of the man who is playing the guy setting the screen. Here it is. Here's the play. Here's Jager setting the pick. Seacat lights out.
Wow. Shoulder right to the side of the face there by Jagla.
That was a legal screen.
Yep, you know, he braced himself.
Yeah. As long as he wasn't moving laterally, which happens often on screens. Luba weaving his way through there. Ooh, lights out.
.14:31 remaining here in the second half.
Guards defensively anticipate screens around the head of the key, free throw line, but that close to midcourt really requires communication. He just had no idea and was really putting his heart and soul into trying to put that pressure on, and just all he got was a face full of a 7-footer's numbers and maybe a little elbow. His crowd, which had been really into this transition game of Northwestern, very quiet right now.
So much concern, so much caution with anything involving head and neck injuries.
And you know, Dave, a break like this, not a good sign. They're coming out with that flat board to take Seacat off. It's a precaution. Anytime you have a head or neck injury, spine potential injury, you take extra precaution, and that's what they're doing. But a long break like this, it'll be interesting to see. Northwestern came out of the gates at the half with a blistering early second half. We'll see what this long break does. Many times it cools the team that has momentum, which is now Northwestern. Here, take another look.
Seacat has no chance to realize that that contact was coming. And so while they attend to Evan Seacat here and get him safely off the floor with 14.5 remaining in the second half, let's go back to the studio and Pam Ward. Pam?
All right, Dave, thanks. As they work on Seacat, we'll get you back out to the game as soon as it resumes. But in the meantime, we'll get you up to date on some other Big Ten action going on across the country today as we take you to Iowa City, Michigan, and Iowa. And for the Wolverines, Daniel Horton, even with a hand in his face, is able to knock down the three-pointer as Michigan up by 4 as they have hit the half in that game. Michigan has not won at Iowa, as you see, over the last 3 years. Iowa next playing at Ohio State. Michigan has Penn State, who, of course, you are watching right now against Northwestern. Kentucky and Georgia. Remember, Georgia won at Kentucky 4 weeks ago. And time runs out for the second time this season, this time by the final of 74-68. So Kentucky falls. 2 of their 3 losses in the SEC comes to this Georgia team that can beat the big boys. But again, they got crushed by Vandy just the other day. Other scores to get you caught up on now. Providence and Boston College. Providence leading 44-36. This low-scoring game still has about 11 minutes left to go. Ryan Gomes well on his way to another double-double for Providence. ACC basketball now. Virginia hosting Georgia Tech, and the Cavaliers with a 3-point lead with just under 16 minutes left to go in this game. See, Virginia's lost 8 of the last 9 times that they have taken on Georgia Tech, but they have a 3-point lead in this one. Tech plays at Maryland Thursday. You can see that game on ESPN2. Syracuse and Miami over in the Big East, and really this has not been much of a ball game at all. Syracuse looking good from the get-go. Hakeem Ward hit all 9 of his field goals in the first half. He now has 27 points and 5 rebounds. You can see Syracuse on Big Monday as they take on Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat Seton Hall earlier today, so we'll see them Big Monday on ESPN. More basketball tonight on ESPN for all you Big Ten fans. Boy, Wisconsin in first place in the Big Ten, even though they've had some personnel shortages. That's at 7 Eastern. Follow that with Memphis and Marquette. That's tonight on ESPN. Now let's get you back to Northwestern and Penn State. Dave?
All right, Pam, thanks very much for the update there as you take a look at the situation here at Welsh Ryan Arena. Evan Seacat, who, in case you're just joining us, hit by a blindside pick by Jan Jagla, much bigger, taller player, and it was Jagla's shoulder that hit right into the side of the head of Evan Seacat. And take a look at the play that happened very quickly around the center court area. And Jagla at this point just now realizes there's going to be contact. He braces himself. He actually pulls his arm in closer to his body and is actually kind of turning away. But the full force of Seacat's momentum carried him right into Jagla. And they have been attending to him from the moment that we sent it back to the studio.
Vukusic, who was guarding Jagla, should have been up there. Actually, he probably should have been up there on a double team, but at least he should have been communicating to his teammate Seacat. Watch the pick. Watch the
exactly.
pick. He had no idea it was there.
Well, the obvious concern there as they put him on the cart, they had to wrap his arms across his body. Now, we're not going to speculate whether he can or cannot move, because that's not for us to say, but not any movement that I could see by Evan Seacat on his own.
Well, all the festive feeling of this crowd has been drained. The oxygen's been sucked right out of this place. It's pretty obvious that this is not just an ordinary injury. And again, we'll see what it does to a Northwestern team that came out smoking, scored the first 10 points in the second half, and now they have to regain that momentum, and getting this crowd back in a cheerleading mood may be difficult. Penn State players also applauding.
Obviously, if we get any news on the condition of Evan Seacat before this game is over, we will pass it along. Well, let's remind you tomorrow that we have some great regional college hoops available on ABC, a doubleheader at 1:30 Eastern. Some of you will see Cincinnati take on Wake Forest. Skip Prosser used to be at Xavier, going up against his old crosstown rival Bob Huggins there in Cincinnati. Others will see Kansas take on Nebraska. UConn and Pittsburgh, number 4 against number 5, is the Big East matchup that some will see at 3:30 Eastern time. It'll be Maryland against number 17 North Carolina, or UNLV against Missouri. Check local listings for the games in your area. Of course, Pittsburgh, 22 wins, the most in the nation, and 39-game home winning streak, also the longest in the nation. As we are back to action here, Northwestern with the 38-27 lead.
Defensive change by Penn State. They come out in a 1-3-1 zone.
Here is Parker. He is back in. Parker